Hi friends, Merly here. Yeah, I'm back and this is our end of season harvest. The wind has gotten cold. Right now it feels like 33 degrees. It's windy, but the vegetables in the garden are still looking great. So I can't just stay inside and leave this out in here to freeze because tonight it's gonna be in the 20s in my area. So we're gonna do a little harvest. We have our beautiful Swiss chard that we planted in the spring, and then I thought they died off over the summer. I left them in the garden. They were devoured by insects over the summer, but here they are. Look at that, guys. They are so good. No bugs. So healthy. So I thought it would be a waste if these yummy vegetables are gonna get frozen tonight. That's why we're gonna be harvesting them. And as you know, it's very easy to harvest the Swiss chard. You don't need any tools, just your hands. And all you have to do is to snap that stem like this. And we are just getting all of the good leaves. And I'm going to freeze them, so I will have some vegetables to enjoy over the winter. Look at that, guys. Lots of them in here. And we have some other rainbow Swiss chard in other parts of the garden. And who knows, this Swiss chard plants might survive the winter. So I'm not sure about that, but we will see, and I'm gonna update you whatever happens to this Swiss chard. But for now, I just need to get the good leaves and the stems so we can have them ready for our winter soup. We got all of the Swiss chard that we could harvest today, guys, and look at this, very exciting. We have this big tomato box full of Swiss chard leaves. So it's about 20 plants we've harvested from that area. I left some leaves that are not looking very good, but I've cut the top of it. Instead of snapping the stems, I decided to use my clippers to make the work faster, and so I can continue harvesting some other vegetables. We also had some Swiss chard from here. See that I did not get the tips of it, and I'm going to cover this with leaves tonight, dry leaves, and maybe some straw, and see what happens, because we only have 2 days of below freezing temperatures, and I am hoping that the Swiss chards will still come back. Look at that. And it would be very amazing if they do come back. Next, we're gonna take care of a few tomato plants that are left. And here we have an indeterminate tomato, and that's why, as you can see, the vines are really long. I made the vines originally climb up this trellis of my long beans. Unfortunately, the main vine fell over, and it's right there, and look at that. It actually has some fruit. Unfortunately, the fruit are still green, but we will just go ahead and harvest these green tomatoes because we can still use this for cooking. Fried green tomatoes are so delicious, and so we're gonna be frying some green tomatoes today. Next on our list are the peppers. This area is where we planted all of our hot peppers. I'm gonna show you what peppers survived for us in this area of the garden. And these are our hybrid cayenne peppers. Look at that, guys. Lots of cayenne peppers. See how big they are. I actually did not expect these cayenne peppers to get this big because this area did not get much attention this year. And I thought these plants have died already, but they survived. And we have around 10 plants, 10 cayenne pepper plants in here. And look at that. Each plant is just loaded with peppers. I don't even know what to do with these peppers now. I'll probably just freeze them and think of what I'm gonna do to them whenever I have the time to plan our meals. Look at that, guys. Now these are very amazing. Less work. Look at that. I'm just going to pull these peppers off the plants right now because these plants are going to freeze anyway, so I don't need to be gentle with them anymore. If it was still early in the season, I would be more gentle when harvesting because I don't want to damage the plants. But since this is our last harvest of these cayenne peppers, then I'm just gonna go ahead and pull the fruit. Look at that. Pull the peppers. They're really good. Oh my gosh. It's just so exciting to see all of these blessings from the garden without doing so much work because we got so busy with another part of the garden, and we also got so busy from selling our produce, and we did buy some mums and pumpkins to sell for the fall. Now we have closed our farm stand for the season to give us time to do some garden preparation, you know, do the chores, clean up the house. Yesterday we took down our swimming pool, and I'm now drying the inner side of the swimming pool. It's a small pool we got from Walmart, but it's so fun to have something for the summer, and so we're keeping it. And that's what we did yesterday. Just took down and clean up the pool, and then today is our harvest day. And I think, guys, let's go this way and look at that. The plant has fallen over on this side. This is the part of the garden that I showed you during the spring. I planted this with broccoli during the spring, and our broccoli did so good. This is where we did a compost in place, and we composted a lot of our extra pumpkins from last year, and the composted pumpkins became the nutrients that fed the plants that we've grown in this area. And I'm telling you, we did not put any fertilizer in this area of the garden. We have 6 rows in here that we initially planted with cabbages, cauliflower, and broccoli. The broccoli did so good. The cauliflower was devoured by pests. We got a few cauliflower, by the way, but the broccoli was so good. And now our hot peppers are doing really great and providing us with an awesome end of season harvest. Here in the next row, you can see here a lot of smaller peppers. Now honestly, I couldn't remember the name of these peppers. I'll probably talk about this in my future video because I still need to look at my garden journal because I couldn't remember what these are. But I know that these are hot peppers and they just look so amazing. Look at the red ones. The redder they are, the hotter is the pepper. So we can make a lot of dish from this. If you love spicy food, this is gonna be awesome. Now with this, because again, these plants being summer crops are not gonna survive temperatures in the 20s, and we're talking about 20 degrees Fahrenheit, not Celsius. So 20 degrees Fahrenheit, that's really cold. It's gonna kill all of the summer crops. So this is the way I harvest them. I'm just going to cut the branches and take this into my house. So let's continue harvesting. Let's get all of this deliciousness. And did you know that you can also put the young leaves of peppers in dishes? In the Philippines, we used to cook the tops of the pepper plants. We put them in soup. They're so good. So we're getting that. They're gonna go into the freezer tonight. All of the yumminess that we can find in this garden are going in, trying to get them safe from the cold, from the freezing temperatures. I know this is merciless because I'm just cutting the plant, but what can you do? Well, if you want to save peppers, you can, because you can just overwinter the peppers. Like if I overwinter this, I can just dig up the whole plant and transfer the plant in a pot, put it inside the house or inside a heated greenhouse, and then you can replant the pepper into your garden next season. In the spring, when the soil temperature is around 55 degrees, air temperature probably about 70s, that's gonna be the time when you can replant your peppers in your garden. Oops, now that one, I pulled the whole plant. I might just take this as well and save one of this, take this inside my house and save it for next year. Look at that. It has a good root system. The next row that we are harvesting is the row of jalapeno peppers and purple cayenne. Look at these purple cayenne peppers, guys. And these are the jalapenos. So with the jalapenos, since they're bigger, we're just going to harvest just the peppers and not the plants. We actually have some that are good size, but because it's very cold already, you can see some purple portions of the jalapeno pepper, and that is fine. This would still taste good. Now, those jalapenos that are protected from the wind, this is inside. It looks really nice and we don't see any purple color. Here we have another row of peppers, and these are ghost peppers. Next, we're here in the new garden where we've grown a lot of bell peppers, Unfortunately, most of the bell peppers were lost from the flood, and so we were thinking of redoing this area. We did get a few of this to sell, and early in the season we actually got a lot of our bell peppers from this row. Look at that. This yellow color is just because it's cold, and it's the pepper is totally fine. It just changed its color. Instead of like, you know, a deep green color, it's a little bit yellowish. These are our survivor bell peppers this year. Look at that. And my family loves bell peppers, so we like the big ones. We can stuff this with meat and bake, and it's gonna taste so good. And here's, I think this is the last plant that's left in this row. Okay, let's just put them all together so you can see how much we got from a few plants. Up, here's another one. Wait a minute, I think I found a few more. They were hiding underneath the leaves, and there's a couple more in here. So let's get this and this one. Oops, why are they hiding from me? These plants are so silly. But anyway, look at all these bell peppers that we got today, guys. This year we grew 30 eggplants in this row. We grew 3 varieties. One is Black Beauty, and then there's one that's kind of like an oval shape that I didn't know what the name was, but it tasted so good. And then we also planted some Japanese eggplant. These eggplants are so good. Japanese eggplants are here. They are the slender type. We still have some in the plant, but since these are already mature and they were not harvested in their prime, this is already tough. We just decided to not harvest the eggplants anymore because apparently it was hard to sell the eggplants. So next year we'll probably just plant a few of the eggplants, and we will use the spot for some other vegetables that we can sell in our farm stand. But yeah, these eggplants, if you like know some eggplant recipes, you can do, I've cooked like eggplant parmesan, omelette. Sometimes I put eggplants in my soup and sauteed vegetables, but really a lot of people don't care about eggplants because they don't have that much nutrients anyway. So like my customers, they prefer other vegetables. But I mean, if you grow eggplants this big, look at that. That's gonna be amazing. If you look at the back though, it has a split. Now this one is not that tough. I think it just split because this area is getting too much water, but this can still be used. So I'll be saving this plus a few more that look decent, because in the winter, you know, we might want to make some dishes which needs eggplants, so we can get some. And this is the one that's like an oval thing, which I don't really know what the variety it is. I mean, this could be the Black Beauty, but it just didn't grow that big. And this one is kind of like round, so I don't know if you know what the name is. Please write it in the comment section. So I'll be picking some of these eggplants as well. This area right here was one of the most productive area in my garden this year. So number one producer in my garden this year is cucumber. It's so funny because in the past years we didn't have any luck with cucumbers, but this year, even if it's already cold, and look at that, the plant is already dying. I'm just gonna pull that. We can still get some decent cucumbers from the garden. And I think that is all because of the new system that I'm implementing with the cucumbers. So this year, if you have seen my spring and early summer videos, I created this container which is made of pots. The sunken container garden did really well to maintain a healthy plant, keep them producing. Even when we got flooded in this garden, the cucumbers did just amazing. We also grew some Kentucky Wonder Pole beans, which did really well. Now, right now, the leaves are not looking great because of the temperature, and so they're so beat up. We did get a lot of harvest from these plants, and to think that we only have a few beans that we planted. So we also did the sunken container garden in here with 5 Kentucky Wonder Pole beans, just 5 in this area, and we have like 2 or 3 at the other end of this row. I will be growing Kentucky Wonder Pole beans again next year. It's a very delicious variety, and because it's a vining variety, it's very easy to harvest it. Like, I would just come here and pull the pods from the vines like this, easy peasy. It does not require me to bend down to do the harvesting. In this area, we have our sweet banana peppers, which did decent towards the later part of the season. Early on, they did not do good because of getting a lot of water in here. This is a lower section of the garden, and every time it rains, it gets flooded. But as soon as the weather was starting to get good and the plants were not flooded anymore, this sweet banana peppers started producing, and it's so amazing how much we were able to harvest just from a short period of time, from just a few plants that survived the late spring, early summer rain. Because we got too much rain, it was too much for our plants to handle. Peppers don't like having a wet feet, so they usually rot, and so because of that, we have lost a lot of them. These are the survivors that gave us an amazing harvest throughout the summer and the early fall. Early in the season, we planted some celery in this area. Over the summer, I thought the celery is gone, but then when the weather got cooler, some of the celery plants actually came back, which is very, very amazing. And look at this, guys. We harvested a lot of celery stems from these plants in the spring and early summer. When it gets too hot, the celery didn't like it, and it did not taste good. It was a little bit bitter, but this time let me try this. Fresh celery from our garden. Mmm. This is so good, guys. So good. So, our experiment this year is successful on celery. So, in my area, I can grow it in the spring and then just leave it in the ground. So, apparently, in the fall, it comes back. And most of them are actually back. So, yeah, the green ones are celery, and there's a lot of celery underneath those brown grass. It's just weeds took over this rows, but you can tell that we still have a bunch of celery. So yeah, I'm gonna have fun harvesting this celery. Just like the Swiss chard, you can just snap the stems, or I'm thinking to make this job faster because it's already 32 degrees. I'm really cold now. I'm just gonna use my clippers and clip all of the good leaves and good stems, and then I can freeze this, and I can use this in a lot of dishes. This is gonna be super duper exciting. This is our cart that is full of harvest today, guys. Look at all of this celery that we got from the ground. And last minute I decided to leave some of the celery plants in the ground and see what happens over the next 2 days. If they're gonna survive, then they should taste really good. I got a lot of the Swiss chard right here. We filled our box, and I had to move some of the Swiss chard just to fit some celery. And then here we have cucumber, a bunch of bell peppers, sweet banana peppers, we have some eggplants, and then we have jalapeno peppers underneath this, and then we have our cayenne peppers and these little chili peppers that I forgot what the name is. Oops, looks like I'm seeing some ice falling on me. That sure is ice or snow. They're so tiny though. But I know that it has gotten so cold. I'm super duper cold now. And yeah, there are some droplets of whatever it is. And I feel like it's either snow or itty bitty ice that is falling on me. So I guess I'm gonna need to go back inside the house, guys. And I'm gonna see you again in my next video. Happy gardening and God bless. Bye bye.